Imagine this. You step into an elevator. The doors slide shut. You're suddenly standing still, in a tiny metal box, with strangers, and a giant mirror staring right back at you. You glance at yourself, then at everyone else, then back at yourself again. But here's the weird part. Why is there a mirror here at all? Is it really just for checking your hair? Or is something else going on? And before we break this down, subscribe to the channel and leave a like, because the most ordinary places usually hide the strangest design decisions. Most people assume elevator mirrors exist for one simple reason, but that explanation is only a small piece of the story, because the real reason elevators have mirrors has almost nothing to do with vanity, and everything to do with your brain, your behavior, and how you experience time and space. And once you see it, you'll never ride an elevator the same way again. Let's start with what everyone thinks. Mirrors are there so you can check how you look, fix your hair, straighten your clothes, make sure you're presentable before the doors open. And yes, that is one reason. In offices, hotels, and apartment buildings, elevators act like a tiny waiting room right before you step into public view. But here's the thing. If appearance were the real reason, every elevator would need a mirror. And yet, many don't. So clearly, something else is going on. Here's what most people don't realize. Humans are deeply uncomfortable with small enclosed spaces, especially when we're not moving, and especially when we're surrounded by strangers. Elevators trigger three things at once. Tight space, forced proximity. Nothing to do but wait. That combination makes time feel slower and anxiety feel stronger. 10 seconds in silence can feel like a full minute. So designers had a problem. How do you make people feel calmer without changing the elevator itself? This is where mirrors come in. A mirror instantly does something powerful. It gives your brain something to process. You're no longer just waiting. You're observing. You check your posture, your face, your expression, and even if you're not consciously thinking, your brain is busy. Busy brains feel less anxious. Busy brains perceive time as moving faster. That's why a mirrored elevator feels quicker than a plain metal box, even if both take the exact same amount of time. This is where most people get confused. The mirror isn't for how you look, it's for how you feel. Now let's talk about the awkwardness. Standing face to face with strangers in silence is deeply uncomfortable. Where do you look? At the floor? At the numbers? At the wall? A mirror gives everyone a socially acceptable place to focus. You're technically looking at yourself, but it feels like you're avoiding eye contact politely. This reduces tension and makes shared silence feel normal. It's not decoration. It's social engineering. Here's a reason almost no one thinks about. Mirrors help people in wheelchairs or with mobility limitations. They allow someone to see behind them, position themselves correctly, back out safely without twisting or turning. In many buildings, mirrors aren't optional. They're practical tools that make elevators usable for everyone. So what looks like a design choice is actually a quiet accessibility feature. Notice something interesting. In glass elevators or elevators with windows, mirrors often vanish. Why? Because the outside view already gives your brain stimulation, movement, depth, change. Once again, it's not about looks, it's about perception. So why do elevators have mirrors? Not for vanity, not for decoration. They make small spaces feel larger, make waiting feel shorter, reduce social discomfort, lower anxiety, improve accessibility. All with one simple object: a mirror. And once you understand that, you start noticing how many everyday designs aren't about function alone, but about how humans feel inside them. So next time you're in an elevator, watch what people do. They'll look calm, occupied, comfortable, all because of a reflection. If this changed how you see something ordinary, leave a like, share this with someone, and subscribe for more explanations hiding in plain sight. Because sometimes the simplest things hide the most misunderstood truths.